Warning.
You are now tuned in to 7 Mile Radio. 7 Mile Radio.
Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. Welcome to the Making 'em Think podcast. Today we have in the studio Mrs. Connie Johnson.
Hey.
Miss Connie Johnson is the former director of Section 8. And we have also in the studio Miss Janine Lee. Janine Lee is the sister, if you will, of Connie Johnson and my cousin. And we will be discussing all things Section 8, but the specific title is Where's My Section 8? You guys want to tune into this? Any current recipients of Section 8? Anyone on the pending waiting list? Connie has a lot of information that she would like to share with you guys in reference to Section 8, the do's, the don'ts, the myths, the truths. And we will have some insight from Miss Janine, hey baby, who will be giving us, she herself currently lives in a home that is of Section 8, and she will be giving some of her insight, her process that she had to go through, and how it has benefited her. So again, thank you guys to the Making Them Think podcast this Sunday. Topic of discussion is Where's My Section 8? I have a little, and I'm sorry, of course, to the King of Kings. Forgive me. You know who I think I am. How are you today, Mark?
I'm doing
how
great,
are
beautiful.
you
How are
today?
you?
I am good. I am good. So good to be back in my seat.
Yeah, we missed you here in the studio.
We don't
for
even
a
want
couple
to
of-
talk.
for a couple of weeks.
Stop. Is you trying to be messy? I'm sorry, guys. Me and Mark just have this messy best friend relationship, and right now he's trying to be messy. So
No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
Probably
I
so.
thank you.
I just met him.
You
so
did,
he
so
probably
you are right. And his name Mark.
And his name.
His name is Mark.
You got a bone to
Yeah,
pick
that's
with
what we
Mark's,
got.
huh?
Look at everybody in the family looking at her like, look at her.
Somebody phone up. Turn your phone down, baby. There you go.
We ready?
And we ready.
Excellent. Again, guys, I am so very glad to be back into the place in which I belong, in my seat.
Somebody's phone is
Whose
still
phone
up.
is that? Is that Janine's phone or my phone? Guys, I'm sorry.
Uh-oh.
All right.
Oh, no. How about that? That was me.
Uh-oh.
You
That
know
was,
what?
and I don't. I promise you, it is tradition.
They're going to do
I
sounds
still
like
have to.
I like those.
I haven't even look.
Since
As
I
you
was-
can see, I'm back, Mark, and I haven't
You
broken
back.
tradition.
Since I was set up.
She's back.
To be in this
officially.
chair.
There
Officially.
you go. Look, and look
We
how
couldn't have started the
comfortable
show
you
off
are
right
already.
if Keisha didn't have the phone malfunction.
That's it. That's
We
it.
should
It
have
just
known who
doesn't
it
flow
was.
that way.
Now we
It
know we're
just
going to have a
doesn't.
good show. The show
Yeah,
wouldn't be
that's
right.
That's right.
We wouldn't have a good show.
Put that signature on it. Put that volume
There
on
you
it,
go,
and that
there
is
you go.
that. Okay, guys, let's get into the topic of discussion again. Where's my Section 8? Connie is going to inform us on
Some of the
actually,
myths. Some of the myths about Section 8.
Can
That's
you
what I want to
tell
start
us
off with.
before we start off in that? Can you tell us how did you begin your journey,
My journey.
with Section 8?
I began my journey with Section 8 as a Section 8 participant.
Okay.
So I
Okay.
remember years and years ago, I really didn't know what Section 8 was, but I knew a lot of people were going, they opened up the Section 8 waiting list, let's go down there and apply. And I'm like, okay, so all of us went down. I remember someplace off the 94 went and signed up. And years later, they called and my name reached the top of the waiting list, okay? And so, I did the application process and they sent me a letter to say, you're over income. Me being me, like, I'm over income. Wait a minute. So I wrote a letter. I wrote a letter to the supervisor and I forget what I said, but it's no way possible in my mind. I'm thinking, I've been waiting this long and you're going to tell me, And so I don't know what I said or what have you, but it turns out they let me on the Section 8
How
program.
about
Now,
that?
here's the hypocrisy of the whole thing.
Okay.
I was so embarrassed to go down there and get my voucher. I was so embarrassed.
Wait a
And let me
minute.
tell you why. Because I felt like I didn't need Section 8.
Uh-huh.
Section 8 was something that the stereotype. Now don't
was-
judge
No,
me.
I
Don't
do.
judge me.
It was for
The
the less fortunate.
those kind of people. Yeah.
And so when I went to get it, I was so embarrassed to go down and get it. Okay, so
Okay.
fast forward, I was only on for a year, and then when I went back in to recertify, I asked my housing specialist, Lord rest her soul, if they were hiring. The rest is history.
How about
The
that?
rest is
and so
history.
you go from applying,
Yes.
getting rejected,
Yeah.
writing a letter due to the rejection, receiving it. Once you received it,
didn't
embarrassed
want
about the
it.
fact that you received it after you put all of that into
Right.
play to
That's
get
right.
it.
The irony of it.
Yeah,
all.
that's something
Yeah.
like, you know what, they approved me, but oh
Yeah.
I mean, it
Yeah.
kind of went that way, and you were serviced with it for a year.
Yes.
And
Yes.
once that was over, you went in, talked to the young lady who has passed on.
Yes.
And about employment, and the rest is
The
history.
rest is history.
And then what I want to say so much about the rest being history is that actually the rest is history, but from the point that you walked in and asked for, inquired about employment, and then ended up as a director.
As
Come
a
on,
director.
That I love that,
Yes.
baby.
Yes.
That speaks to
Yes.
yes, and yeah, I love it.
And
I
you know,
love
it helps when I'm speaking with the clients and I'm talking about the program and they're looking like, well, what does she know?
Mm-hmm.
You know, because sometimes when you get to a particular level, other people tend to think that you don't
you're
understand.
unrelatable.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
And so when I share with them, hey, listen, I used to sit in those same chairs.
Yeah.
So I know exactly what
Yeah.
you're going
Yeah.
through. So let's talk about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And you can just kind of see how the wall was torn down because, oh, she sat here before. If she can do it, then maybe I can do it.
Yeah.
And that's my message when I do speak with them. If I can do it, you can do it. I
Yeah.
just used it what it was intended for.
Yeah.
And that was to get me to the next level.
That is it. And
So,
we're going to sidebar just for a quick second. Still same subject, but in reference to the Department of Human Services. I myself, of course, having children young, so of course, ended up on public assistance. And what you just said in reference to people looking at you like, oh, she can't relate. She don't know, you know. My experience with receiving public assistance was in reference to what you're saying, like the workers. Are they still called workers? We call them
I guess
workers. Still a
caseworkers.
worker.
Yeah,
Caseworkers.
yeah.
Still, the caseworkers I had were kind of rude,
Yeah.
if you will. And then the thing about it, it wasn't even irregular. Like everybody you hear sitting in the office just yapping,
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm gonna see this today. She finna
Yeah.
be rude. She finna, you know. And for me, Quest. I think I was sitting in the welfare office with her in my arms and just felt degraded.
Yeah.
I felt humiliated.
Yes.
You know, and then, okay. And again, a disclaimer, you know, I always have the disclaimer. I'm not saying anything about anyone specific in
Anybody,
reference
yeah.
to what I'm about to say.
Yeah.
But I felt as if like the people that I was in there with, like waiting for, like I just don't belong here. Not to say that they
Girl,
did.
no.
You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Not
Well,
to
I
say-
hear,
but-
I hear y'all. I'm on a different level.
Yeah.
All right,
But-
okay.
yeah.
What do you
For-
mean by a
for-
different level?
When I say that, I mean I didn't go in thinking like that. I needed
okay,
help.
I needed it. Yeah,
I
yeah,
needed help,
yeah,
and
yeah.
it's not for everybody.
That is it.
But when you get on it, it's what you do with it.
That
Yes.
is it. That is
So-
the key there.
For me, it by Connie dealing with that, she put it out there. At the time, I didn't know.
Okay.
But some came up with me and my
Situation.
husband.
Yeah.
So I had to jet. So
Yeah.
it was perfect for
Yeah.
me. And so
Okay.
far, it's been 2 years, and I'm taking advantage of everything.
How long did you wait? You know how, because I hear
Maybe
the thing.
about
We're going to
3,
discuss that
yeah.
as far as maybe one of the myths too. Because, and I will say this. I'm sorry. Keep your thought.
Oh, yeah.
I applied. Me and mom. Oh wow. Mom was living on a street called Fenmore. Tori was still in high school. So that's how long ago that was. And they was like, it's going to take forever for the letter to come. No, that letter came quickly to me. Your income is.
Yeah.
I said, well,
Yeah.
Wow.
is this the pre-letter for the long letter? I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I mean, they
yeah.
sent that letter so quick
Yeah.
to me and mom.
Yeah.
You know, she gets dad's pension and
Yeah.
her other, they said, oh no. So
Yeah.
I didn't even inquire, but that made me really admire what you said you did when you were
Yeah.
like, hold up.
Yeah.
You know.
What you talking about?
I didn't even
I will
think
not
to
be
do that right.
rejected.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you know what? As far as me, when I did it, I honestly went in it with the wrong mindset. Like, they ain't gonna give it to me.
Yeah.
So when I got the letter saying, we ain't gonna give it to you.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
figuring, okay, 2 and 2 is 4. They wasn't gonna give it to me. But
Yeah.
had I thought to, you
Right,
know,
right, yeah.
had I thought to. And Janine finished telling us, babe. So what was your length of time?
I think it was about 2-3 years.
About 2 or 3 years.
About 2
yeah.
or 3 years, because Connie had reached out and she had always said, when openings come up, just put your name in there. Just put your name in there. At that time, I wasn't in my situation,
Okay.
but it happened. The
Did
situation
you put
came
it
up.
in at the time that she's told you to, and
Oh,
then
yeah.
just so
Oh,
happened
yeah.
your situation occurred, and Section 8 came right
Came
in
right
time.
on time.
How about
Yeah.
that?
Came
How
right on
about
time. I
that?
had
Yeah.
been out of my situation for, I think, over a year or something like that. And when it came, Connie was like, she was like, Janine, just go for it.
Yeah.
But I was so stuck
Yeah.
of being in my circle
Yeah.
and with my family. I was like, this is a good time to go for it.
I love it.
And I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, how about
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Connie?
I just wanted to touch on what she said about your thoughts being different than Keisha's and I's. It wasn't that we didn't need the help, because we needed
We
the
did.
help.
I was in the
why we
office
were
at the
there.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why we were
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
But I think our level of thinking was, girl, you know you can do better than that.
That's it.
Girl, you know you can do. You know, but in that moment in time, that's what we needed in
Yeah.
that moment of
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
But we knew our value, and we knew what we could do. It's
Yeah.
just in that moment.
It was
let
in
me
that
ju-
moment.
Let me just
Yeah.
use this
Yeah.
for what it's intended for, to get us to the next level.
Yeah.
And that was it.
And
you
that
know?
was it, yeah.
But we knew,
This wasn't the end of the
It-
road. This is going
exactly.
to be my start, my jump
Exactly.
start. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? And then not saying that for you, we was younger. Way
That's why
younger
I-
back then.
yeah.
That was
Yeah.
way young. Let me get some
yeah.
Section 8 now. You hear me? I'm the first at the first of that line.
Oh,
Say I can
excuse
get
me,
some.
can we cuss?
Yeah, you can. You know?
That was the Section 8 money. That's
I thought that was because I love money. I'm trying to get money.
Right.
That's why I'm here
That
too,
was for
because I
the
like to
sexual. Yeah, but oh,
network.
please. And on this show, I want to say this: we are ourselves. Because I look at it like this: if I run into somebody on the street and they notice me from this show, you're gonna notice me.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? I'm not gonna give you
Keep it real,
anybody.
man.
that's it.
Keep it
I'm not
real.
gonna give you
Don't always
anybody
say
else.
that.
Yeah. When
Yeah.
you see me, I'm gonna give you me.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
just is what
Okay,
it
cool.
is. So, and Connie, go ahead. Babe.
No, that's basically what I wanted to say, and just to say that Section 8 is not a way of life. I have to keep repeating that Section 8 is not a way of life.
Okay.
And some people may say, well, what do you mean by that? Is when you get your Section 8 voucher, it doesn't mean you just stop living. You just
Exactly.
stop striving. You just stop trying to get ahead. That's your Section 8.
Yeah.
And I need to share with all the listeners on here, anyone who's on Section 8, understand that it is not an accomplishment for you to go around, with your head, going from side to side telling people, I've been on Section 8 for 15 years. I've been on Section 8 for 19 years, ever since my child was little. Then my question to you is, what have you been doing in the last 15 years,
Yes.
the last 19 years,
Yeah.
the last 30 years,
Yeah.
that you still need Section 8?
Yeah.
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 And so that's where I feel like we missed the mark for what the program is intended for.
have a
It's
question
not
for you,
intended
too.
for you to just get
I
it
have a
and just
question.
stay here.
Use it.
Yeah,
use it.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm sorry.
And I have a question for you in reference to that. Now, again, because I'm asking questions just from hearsay, so
Yeah.
it could be a myth that I'm asking.
Okay.
Receiving Section 8 and receiving Section 8 based off an income that you have, what is the threat of losing that becoming gainfully employed?
Yeah, you at a certain point, when you get a certain amount of income where you could pay all of your rent, you're self-sufficient, and yes, you'll be off the Section 8 program. So it's not, but for some people, they don't even seek employment. Because Section 8, that's why I say it's not a way of
Oh,
life.
okay, I see
They
what-
feel
They
as
use it
though
as a crutch.
absolutely,
It's a crutch.
absolutely,
Right, and
I-
then they become dependent on it,
Absolutely.
and now they become lazy and stagnant,
Yeah.
and they have no motivation to get up and do
Yeah.
anything for themselves. And
Yeah.
that's not everybody,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
I will say that, and I have to say that this is a disclaimer.
Yeah.
When I say Section 8 is not a way of life, I'm only speaking of the able-bodied individuals. I'm
Yeah.
not
There we go.
referencing my
There we
elderly and
go.
disabled
There we go.
population
There we go.
because
Yeah.
I know
Those are the
that's who
ones- that's
I
what
feel
they
like
need.
need it.
That's
what- that's
who it's
exactly,
for.
exactly. And then Mark, you touched on being lazy. Now again, not all Section 8 people are lazy. Disclaimer: not all Section 8 people are lazy, but then they fall into the rut of entitlement. You owe this to me. You owe that to me. And so let's say, for instance, I'm going through this on my TikTok page where, yes, rents are going up. rents are getting higher and higher, and then you have some Section 8 participants saying, my Section 8 ain't doing nothing for me, and they won't raise their payment standards, and they won't do this. And I have to let them know the housing authorities could only do with the funding that we receive.
Okay.
So if a HUD doesn't provide us with enough funding to raise our payment standards
Yeah.
so that you can afford that $1,500 3-bedroom or $2,000 3-bedroom, then we just can't do it.
Okay.
And so your focus of anger is directed at the wrong agency,
Okay.
because we can only do with the funding that we receive.
Okay.
I would say to you, number one, you need to vote.
Come on
Because
now.
it is your local, your state, your federal,
Yeah.
your Congress people who set the budgets for the amount of money that we receive
Yeah.
for Section 8.
Yeah.
So you can't fuss at Section 8 about it, or the housing authorities, because we're only doing with the funding that we receive.
I got you.
Now, understand, if we wanted to do more, we would do more.
Yeah.
But we can't.
So it's
And
about
it-
being educated about it. Now, how can
Absolutely.
you be so dependent on a system that you're not even educated thoroughly enough on to understand how
Yeah.
it works?
Because you're not even educated on the portion of what that service provides outside of the financial part. You don't
Right,
even
right,
care
right,
about.
right.
And
Absolutely.
then when those stipulations affect you, now you feel like, oh, they've done something to me.
Yes.
Well, no, baby, that's always been there. You
Always.
fine
It was in-
print,
always.
it's
It was in the
always been
contract.
that. That's it. It was in the
Yes.
contract.
And it's sad that some of the education comes from, and when I say Mookie and Ray Ray, Shaniqua and Shanae, it has no color.
Yeah.
It has no color,
Okay.
okay? But they get their education from, well, I heard, and so-and-so told me that this is how it's supposed to work. Well, no, because usually the person that you heard it from, it's not even on the program.
That's it. That's
You're
what I'm
giving out
saying.
all the
Yeah,
wrong
that's what I'm
information.
saying.
All the wrong
That's what I'm
information.
saying. And guys, want to take a break just for a quick second, and I'll refer to the comments. We have a Stain Gang D. He said that's what. I'm assuming it's this guy. I'm sorry if you're not. I can't really see the picture. But
That's why I
Stain Gang D says that's why Section 8 should be for people with jobs who don't make a lot of money. And so I'm assuming he means versus people who don't have money at all.
Yeah. And so let me touch on, that's another myth that some people tend to have in thinking that Section 8 people don't work, they don't pay taxes. But most of the people on the Section 8 program, they do work. And they sometimes have a second job. So that is a myth that Section 8 people are just lazy and they don't want to work. Some people don't want to work, and some people are lazy. But for the most part, Section 8 clients work.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
they work.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. Absolutely.
And another thing I wanted to ask: when you said $2,000-3,000 home, a month, like you said, you get that $3,000 three
The
bedroom
payment standard. That was just a hypothetical number. I'm just saying. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Because it
And
varies.
So you took it right out of my. So I'm assuming it varies
Yes.
per state.
Yes.
Okay.
Per city.
Oh,
Per ci-
per
just
city.
yes.
Oh, per city?
Each housing authority sets their own payment standard.
And housing authorities are per city.
Correct.
Oh, you educate. I
yeah,
never
yeah.
knew that. I thought that was simply a state like if you're in the state of Michigan, whether you in Southfield, Livonia, you have to come here for.
No.
Oh.
Each city, if they have a Section 8 office or program, it's in their city, unless you're MISTA. MISTA is our state-run Section 8, and they're all over Michigan.
Okay, okay.
So in Detroit, you have the Detroit Housing Authority.
Okay.
In East Point, you have East Point. In Sterling Heights, you have Sterling
Oh,
Heights.
okay.
But under MISTA, they can be throughout the whole
Okay, okay.
Michigan.
Okay,
So,
and
yeah.
Nicole Patterson says, "Yep, it's per city." Thank you,
Yes.
Nicole. And so it MISTA having the statewide, and what's the difference?
The level of, well, I can't say the level of fund. Well, we do get different levels of funding, but it's just, local. Each state has the different ones, and then you have your state-run housing authority.
Okay.
And it's usually like that in each state. They have a state-run housing authority that receives the most money and usually have the most vouchers and things like that.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. And another thing too, for the process of Section 8. So when you apply, you come in, you fill out. What is it that you guys look for that determines qualification or disqualification?
Okay, before I answer that question,
Okay.
and remind me if I forget the question.
Okay.
Let me say this too, that apply to any open Section 8 waiting list, whether it's in your state or not.
Oh, okay.
And you can, and you can apply to multiple waiting lists as long as you're eligible and you qualify. Okay. And so some people tend to think, and I'm going to take Detroit for instance, they tend to wait until the Detroit Housing Commission opens their waiting list because they think that's the only place that they can apply because they live in Detroit and I have to wait on Detroit to apply.
Okay.
You can apply in Texas. You can apply in California. You can, and
Like
you can,
I did.
Yeah, like she did.
I was in Indiana.
Yeah.
And
Got me
apply
banned.
for Michigan.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I was in
okay.
Indiana, and I was there for 2 years. And now, since I'm there by myself,
Well-
somebody left me. So now I'm able to come back to Detroit with my family.
I got you.
Yes.
Okay, and so for you saying so in Indiana approves you. But I'm finna move to Michigan. So what do you guys do with Section 8? Just forward that. So the funding is the same? Like what if she applied in Indiana and lives in Michigan? I want the house in Michigan. I'm sorry, approved in Indiana. And now I moved to Michigan. And, oh, well, we don't have funds in Michigan right now. So you would have to get yours. And is that possible that could have happened?
Well, the thing here is when they pull somebody's name from the waiting list, whatever state you're living in, that means there's some funding available to assist somebody coming off of the waiting list. Okay. Each housing authority has what we call an attrition rate, meaning we are terminating people or people are leaving, going to other housing authorities, and we have to fill those vouchers.
Okay.
And to do so.
Oh, okay.
See?
So that's where the waiting list falls into play, and then you just
Absolutely.
pull in order.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
okay.
And so, but I have to say though that housing authorities have a resident requirement. So like when she applied, she lived in Michigan. So she had to live in Indiana for at least a year. And after that year, she could move anywhere.
Okay.
And that's for anybody who's
Okay.
applying out of
Okay.
state,
Okay.
And
Okay.
that's what I encourage those who really need the Section 8 voucher, apply any and everywhere. Sometimes you need that change.
Yeah.
Sometimes maybe you need to go from Michigan and move to Texas for a change.
Yeah.
Get
Yeah.
out of your
Yeah.
your habits.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and then come back.
And it was
And
hard.
then you know what? That is good too, because for you to become a recipient of Section 8 and to move into another state, that would possibly give you a different outlook on life,
Yes.
and actually cause you to lose the program a little less tenure than
Right.
you would have
Different
to.
opportunities in a
Yeah,
different
that's
state
what I'm
too. That
saying.
may,
Yeah,
that may
yeah.
open up your possibilities of not having to be on Section 8.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you're of the mindset that if I lose this voucher down in Texas, I don't have family down here, so I got to do right, and hold on to this voucher as long as I
back against
can.
the wall type
Yes,
thing without
yes.
your back actually being
yes.
against the wall.
Yeah.
Debbie Berry says, great questions and explanations. Thank you, ladies. You are very welcome. You
Yeah.
are very welcome.
Yeah.
Someone named Nicole. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm talking about someone named Nicole. Nicole is the same one that said, yep, per city. Nicole says that Scottsdale, Arizona was just closed last week. Are they closing the location?
When she said closed, is she saying the waiting list was closed?
Is it the waiting list, Nicole, you're referring to? Scottsdale Air was just closed last week. She probably mean the
Yeah,
list.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay. And then you know what I wanted to ask too, Janine? Connie, why is there not a tenure date?
You know what? That's a HUD regulation. They don't set a time limit for
wonder
when you
why.
can. Because I guess you have to look at it from start to finish. If we don't put programs in place to make people self-sufficient, and we have an FSS program called Family Self-Sufficiency Program. We'll talk about that later.
Okay.
But what if I say, or what if the states say you have 10 years on the Section 8 program, and they don't have programs available to get you ready for that 10th year for you to be off the program?
Okay.
Then you have more homelessness than we have now. You see, and
So-
then I know I have my people out there say, well, they had 10 years to get it together, and it's not that easy. It is easy for us to say it, but if you're in that position,
Yeah.
and you just don't know,
Yeah.
and the states are not putting things available for me, and I don't know how to get out there and get my resources, I'm still going to be in the same position.
How
10
about
years
that?
later,
Yeah, so
you know?
something in play that prepares you for the
Yes,
journey.
yes.
And along the journey, you do this. So does Section 8 require that you take any classes or anything while you're receiving the?
No, we don't require you take any classes. We do offer what we call the Family Self-Sufficiency Program, or the FSS program, and that's a program that I would advocate to anybody on the Section 8 program.
Okay.
You know, and the major reason is that you could walk away with $20,000+ tax free. Oh yes, oh yes. So
PPP loan?
come on now. Let's not talk about that PPP loan. Like, you know, this is legit right here. Yeah, but you know, the program is set up for you to make goals.
Yeah.
Set goals
Yeah,
for
exactly.
yourself.
Yeah.
Goals that you think will help you to become self-sufficient.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the program initially is a 5-year program with the option of an additional 2 years.
Yeah.
Okay, so in those 5 years, you have to sit back and assess yourself and assess your lifestyle, your family, and say, what do I need to do where in 5 years I can be self-sufficient?
Yeah.
Is that going back to school? Is that fixing up my credit?
Yeah,
Is that, you know, my resume writing, anger management? You know, anything you
Discipline
think.
my spending.
Come on now.
Yeah,
Come
yeah,
on now. And it's not just for the head of household. If you have adult children in the household, because again, sometimes it's our family
Generational.
members who keeps us down. You know, not intentionally, but I can't move out of state because I got to stay here and watch my kids, make sure my kids are okay. You see, and so
Or my kids have had kids, and now I'm the
No,
grandbaby,
absolutely.
grandmother, who's
Yes.
the babysitter,
Yes.
who's the
But if we can, you know, nip that in the bud, get them to participate in the FSS program, set goals, you know, to become self-sufficient in 5 years. Now, in exchange for doing so, let's say, for instance, when you got in the program, you weren't paying any rent. Okay, and so you got in the program, you know, you fixed your resume up, you took a couple classes, now you were able to get a promotion, and so now you're paying $100 in rent. And so now what the Section 8 is going to do is set $100 in an escrow account for you. And every month that you pay $100, Section 8 is going to put $100 in an account for you. Okay?
Hustle, baby.
So, that's right. So
You know I ain't gonna get on. You know I'm getting on that.
let's say
Already
you know you still doing your thing, you know, you went back to school and now you're paying $400 in rent. Section 8 is now putting $400 in an escrow account for you. Every month that you pay your $400 in rent, Section 8 is putting $400 in an escrow account for you.
And so the purpose of the escrow, as far as, because you're paying at the time, so the purpose of the escrow, is that like an end of the road withdrawal?
Yes.
Okay.
If you successfully complete the program, the FSS program, if you accomplish your goals, then you get, and you're not on or not receiving any cash subsidy from DHS.
Oh,
You get all
okay.
of that money tax free.
Okay.
Tax
okay.
free.
And so the DHS makes it a stipulation because of what?
Because if you're receiving subsidy, a cash grant from DHS, you're not self-sufficient.
Oh,
you're
so
still
that's in
rec-
reference to your own. Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
You're not
I got it. That
self-sufficient.
makes
Right.
sense. That
Yeah,
makes sense.
yeah.
And Janine, I wanted to ask you, when you said I'm going to take advantage of that program, is that,
The FSS.
do you have to wait a certain time? Like, why are you not in the program now?
Well, from kind of doing all things Section 8, it's a lot of more things that I'm learning.
Okay.
And for me to, I have so much going on my plate because it wasn't. That move wasn't easy for me. So because out of fear. But now that as I'm learning, what I know now, I wish I knew
then. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my God,
Yeah.
I will be the bomb.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the bomb is coming.
That is
All right.
it.
So,
That's it.
so, but that's what I'm saying. That's what I love about Connie, because as I'm going in, I'm the type that, and I'm just keeping it real.
Yeah.
I need that. Okay, how do you do this?
Yeah, me
'Cause like
too.
they say, when I go in, it's so much.
Yeah.
And it just get overwhelming to where I sit it down
Okay.
because it's overwhelming, and you have some people that's not like you and Connie.
Yeah.
That how y'all go in, that how y'all do things.
No, I got you.
So for me, when I'm now moving back to get in my spot for Detroit. Praise God, I was approved
Yes.
for a place.
Yeah.
So I'll be moving back July the 31st is my last day. Once I get in that spot, See, I like him.
Right.
See, I like
Save it
this
right
stuff.
on your
I
life,
this
Mark. You
stuff.
know.
And his name had to be Mark.
Right.
I ain't gonna hate him. He was a wonderful part
That's it.
of my journey that I was on.
Yeah.
For me growing.
Yeah.
So like I said, I wish I was
What I
am
knew
now.
then.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah.
But yes, I want kind of give me all that information,
Yeah.
and as soon as possible, because for me is I'm different from everybody. I don't want a 9 to 5. I don't want to be on anybody's time.
Yeah.
If I can set my own time
Yeah.
and be able to pay my
bills,
and
yeah,
all that,
yeah.
Y'all know I'm
And
for
it's
it.
funny that you say that because honestly, in everything that I am attempting to do, that's my hindrance.
Yeah.
I work from 10 in the morning to 9 at night.
Wow.
You see, so how do I have time to do anything? And then when it is time for me to do the community work or support something or have somebody come or to I have to squeeze like 3-4 events into a Saturday, 3-4 events into a Sunday
Yeah.
because I can't, and unfortunately, and I, universe, you know how I mean, unfortunately, I love my job. Thank you. But unfortunately, not for me making better choices when I was younger
Yeah.
and being now at this age. Don't get me wrong, I'm gainfully employed, but I'm employed.
Yes.
And versus me, and you guys know, my heart for my community
Yeah.
and everything
Yeah.
that I want to do, and I can't get out there like I want to because again, at the end of the day, when I ask for funding and we do fundraisers and things like that, those are for the events. That's not for me personally.
Exactly.
So I can't take that money and pay some bills.
know.
Yeah.
You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So
Yeah.
I have to make sure that I'm okay, and represent. And then for me, I'm in a situation currently where I need to be straightening up my credit, and getting everything back to where I can finally say, because I have my affirmations and I have confessed, that when I leave AAA, it won't be to work for another company.
Yeah.
I will definitely
Come on
be
now.
doing my
Claim
own
it,
thing.
baby.
Yeah.
So that's where I am right now.
Yes.
Paying
Claim it.
attention again to the comments, Nicole Patterson is advising that yes, she did mean the waiting list. So they
Okay.
did close the
Yes.
waiting list. Oh, hi, Karma. My sister is on. We do a lot of the community work and things together. She's asking, where is all the funding?
Going to other places.
Okay, you did say
Yeah,
that.
they're going to
Okay.
other places. So, when Congress gets together and determines, which programs gets the amount of money, they determine that. And in turns, that's when we get our money. Okay.
Okay.
And it's based on the number of vouchers that we have and things like that. So, and as a housing authority, we have to be good stewards of the money that we receive.
Yeah.
And so people have to understand that HUD determines our payment standards. So, and other people may say how much my voucher is worth.
Yeah.
So HUD determines that, okay?
Okay.
And so the housing authority doesn't necessarily determine that, but they do give housing authorities the discretion to increase that amount by 110% or lower it by 90%. It's not a whole lot, but still, it's something.
Yes.
And I hate, just coming from the industry, I hate when people say Section 8 ain't doing nothing for me and Section 8. We're doing as much as we can with what we have.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, if we could do more, we would.
Yeah.
And I just have to let everybody know, and this is a reality.
Yeah.
Everybody's not going to get Section 8.
Yeah.
Due to funding, everybody will not get Section 8.
Okay.
So stop depending and stop expecting a Section 8 voucher. Now, if you get it, that's good.
Yeah.
But it's just not enough funding for the need.
Okay.
And I'm sad to
Yeah,
to say that,
yeah.
but it's just not.
And
But
then
then help
it's
out though. That's what I'm saying. For
I'm sorry?
us, for the ones that's on it, that's back to what you were saying, how they sit up and they just want to live off of it.
Exactly,
Here there's a chance
exactly.
where it's something to help you.
Yes.
So you have to get out there and help yourself.
yeah, that's it.
Yes.
That's it.
yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
And not only that, we have some people on the program, and these are the people that I just don't like, who are frauding the system. So, for instance, I had a young lady who was doing social media, and she was making like $70,000. Yeah, $70,000 from like a TikTok, YouTube type page. Okay, and we were paying all of her rent, and we were sending her a utility reimbursement check. Okay, and she was making $70,000. That's what I don't like. Yes,
Why?
yes,
You said
Be-
TikTok?
yes. Because the
Some of these
thing here
dances.
is,
Give me some love.
the thing here is the funding that we are providing for her, we could be providing from an elderly person
Yeah.
who is trying to decide.
Actually in need of the services.
Exactly. So this elderly person who can't get the funding is trying to decide: am I going to pay my rent? Am I going to buy food? Or am I going to get my medicine? All the while, you have the Section 8. You don't even need it.
Okay, Connie, maybe this statement is for you because I'm reading it, but I have the slightest idea. My sis says, my issue is the funding for the infrastructure. I've been on the waiting list for lead abatement for 4 years.
Okay, so that may not, just depending on the housing authority that she's with, they may have a lead abatement program.
Okay.
That's not necessarily with the Section 8 program.
Yeah.
But if that housing authority offer the funding,
Yeah.
then okay, they have that funding.
Okay.
When it comes to lead, and this is for everyone, when you take your children 6 and under to be tested, ask for that testing, lead testing.
That testing, okay.
My son suffered from lead poisoning.
Sinquest did too when she was younger.
And he was at the point where they wanted to start I think it's the chelation process. Oh yeah, sort of like a chemo or something to get the lead out.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
it was horrible. It was
Okay.
horrible.
Okay.
And so, for those of you who don't know, lead can kill little, young
Yes.
kids.
Yeah.
So I would say to the young lady who's inquiring, that funding plays a part in a lot of things and why it takes so long to receive certain things.
And she just made another comment. She says, I'm a homeowner.
Okay, and so that may not be from the housing authority might have the funding for it, but that doesn't necessarily come through the Section 8 department. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Affiliated, but different roles at the same time.
Correct.
Okay.
Because that housing authority may have been some monies available for lead abatement. And so that housing authority may have gone after that funding just to assist homeowners in the lead abatement process.
Okay.
That could be the case. I'm not saying it is.
And what does that word mean? Excuse me for my ignorance. Abatement?
Removing the lead, either removing it. In my case, what they did was came out and painted over it. Because the house we were living in was an older house with the paint that was back in the day, and that's the dust from that and the dust from the old blinds that we had to remove it, and to stop it. Okay, so that's what it.
And then for me, and not the sidebar, we want to stay on track, but when Sinquest got it, we had I think pool. I don't even know if Sinquest was in school as of yet. No, she wasn't. Not in this apartment. But the paint that they used to paint the tub, you know, and of course, running water. They're sitting, me not knowing that I'm sitting my children in lead water. I was advised actually that once I found out about it that I could have sued. Because she had obtained lead. They were like, you knew you could have sued that landlord if her lead levels had been high enough, and you could have proved that was where she contracted it because he was out of what is the word? He was out of
compliance.
He was out of compliance with the kind of paint.
Okay.
He was supposed to be painting his, buildings, his properties with. And Janine, I have another question for you, babe. So, since being on it and getting how do you feel like okay, so say you're in it and renting your own home. Do you feel you have more freedom to do some of the things that you want to do to reach the goals you want to go with? So what I'm asking is, say for example you were renting a home and you're trying to do the stuff that you do versus living in a Section 8 home and doing the things that you do. Do you think that being a Section 8 recipient and the amount that you have to pay towards your home allows you more freedom to actually get the goals that you want to achieve and eventually say goodbye?
Well, I think most definitely it's going to be to that point to where I'm going to say goodbye.
Yeah.
The person that I am.
Of course.
I'm already. If you give me $20, I got to find some kind of way
to flip that.
I don't want. To flip
I gotta
that
flip
because
that.
I don't. It makes me feel better.
Yeah.
Because even though I'm in need right now.
Yeah.
I don't want anybody to give me
anything. Yeah. So even what you give me, I'm going to produce it into something else. Exactly.
And where I'm at now is I don't know to really give you that answer because the situation that I'm in, I came from my situation to where I was working and it was with my husband. And then when things changed in the household, I had to come out of being to where I was this man, he was there. I needed him. We handled things. But for me to walk away, Section 8 is a perfect thing for me because it's not going to allow me
That's what I'm saying.
to get back on my feet,
Yeah.
to get back to going. For me, I don't want to just sit there. I want to do things with it.
Yeah.
And it can help me because I know if my rent 50 or 100.
Yeah.
If it's 200, praise God. Think
Yeah.
compared to what
Yeah.
I'm seeing
Oh,
what rent is.
yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, I pay 200. I pay
And
200.
Keisha, I had some ladies in the program who went to nursing school.
Okay.
And so they all while in Section 8, they were in school, and then when they got to the point where they had to do their clinicals and things like that, then and wasn't receiving an income, that's what Section 8 is for.
Yeah.
Okay, you went to school, you worked while you were in school, you know, but then when it was time to do your clinicals and you needed to focus and you couldn't have the worries of, oh, I got to go to work and I got to, you know, what do I do?
Yeah.
So then now you rely on Section 8 to cover you until you finish your clinicals, you graduate, and then they let the voucher go.
Yeah.
That's what the program should be about.
Yeah.
Okay?
And I'm going to say something, and because you're probably not going to like it. Yes and no is what. Okay, so what I'm about to say is like, so say for example, if I were on Section 8 and I got a job that, like I could really let go of Section 8 right now, I would probably keep it for like 6 months.
Well, here's the thing: you can. You can if you report that income, because we give you a 6 month. grace
that's
period.
what I was saying.
Yeah, we give you a
wasn't
6 month grace period before we terminate you from the program. I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
Let me tell you this true story. Young lady, we calculated her rent. She was paying all of her rent.
Okay.
She came into my office because she didn't agree with the numbers. You know, I went through the numbers with her to show that, yes, you do indeed have to pay all of your rent. She cried. She said, Ms. Johnson, she said, I'm so scared. She said, Section 8 was my
Crutch.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and that was my safety net.
Yeah.
You know, so if anything happened, that was my
good.
safety net.
Yeah.
So I had to encourage her by telling her, listen, whatever your skills were, whatever your abilities are that got you to this point, just rely on those and not rely on Section 8. Okay.
Yeah.
Because you did something to get you to this point.
Yeah. Even
where you-
receiving the Section 8.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so, I had another case where a lady came in, saw what her amount was, and called her employer
And quit.
Wow.
And there's nothing we can do about that.
Wow.
If they show us evidence that they're not working anymore,
Okay.
we are required to take that income off.
And I want to kind of flip script. Aside from the recipients, what are some of the landlord's responsibilities to their tenants in the homes?
Well, let me say this. Landlords are the backbone of the Section 8 program. And the reason I say that is because they provide the affordable housing or the affordable housing units for our clients. So if they're not providing us any units,
We don't
we can have all the funding we want and don't have units to put these clients in.
Okay.
So I feel as though landlords are the backbone. Now, I also feel like landlords tend to put more of the responsibilities on Section 8 instead of themselves. And they have to, that's another myth. Section 8, the lease is between the landlord and the tenant.
Okay.
And not the tenant in Section 8.
Okay.
You know, landlords have to police their lease. You know, you can't make Section 8 responsible for something you fail to do.
Yeah.
See, we don't screen your tenants.
Yeah.
Landlords are responsible for screening their own tenants.
Okay.
We only get them eligible for the Section 8 program. That's all we do.
Okay.
Now, whether that person is suitable to live in your unit, that's your call.
Okay.
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 And so when that tenant is not living up to the lease or your standards or whatever, that's not Section 8's fault.
Okay.
That's your fault for
That's
not
posing another question, too.
And then
Okay.
when I talk about when people hear another myth that Section 8 tenants will destroy your unit. Not all Section 8 people, and again, you don't even have to be on Section 8 to destroy somebody's unit. If
of
it's
course.
in you,
Yeah,
it's in you.
Yeah.
But my argument with landlords is that where were you that you allowed this tenant to destroy your unit? If you didn't go in, if you waited a whole year till you knew Section 8 was coming out, and then you decided to go in and now look at
And
your
now you
shame
see
on
it.
you.
Yeah.
Shame
Yeah.
on you.
Yeah.
You should have, in my opinion, just my opinion.
Yeah.
You should have gone out, let's say a couple months after this person moved into your unit, you should have went out and inspected your unit to see how they were upkeeping your
Upkeeping it,
unit.
yeah.
Okay. And if there was a problem, you could have addressed that problem right then. You could have nipped it in the bud right then. Told that person, okay, I'm coming back in another couple months, and I need to see a change.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm gonna start the eviction process. Okay.
So since I'm about to say, since the landlords are basically using Section 8 as a quick way to find clients.
Yes.
To fill their
Yeah.
houses. But
Turning
then
the
saying-
blinds out to a dog.
but then when something goes wrong, it's like, oh, it's y'all fault because y'all found.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
But that-
Oh,
yeah.
how about
Yes.
double-edged sword?
Yes.
Okay.
And see, what
how
they need
about
to
that?
understand, we're only there to subsidize the client, you know, to help them pay their monthly rent, and then we'll come out and make sure that the house is still decent, safe, and sanitary. Landlords, you have to do everything, anything that you expect from somebody
Y'all-
who's not on the
you work
program.
for the renter, for the person going to, not the landlord, basically. Yeah, I mean, it's
Like
basically
with those
what you're
things, like
saying.
when you said the inspections, like when we go out and we make sure that the da 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 da.
Yes,
So
yeah.
you guys go out. Are you going out to make sure that the tenant is keeping up to those standards, or the landlord is keeping up to those standards, or both?
When we initially go out before the tenant moves in, we go out to make sure that it's housing quality standard compliant.
Okay.
So
Based
that's
on
up
HUD's
to the
regu-
landlord.
Yeah.
That's up to
the
the landlord
landlord
to
has to
keep it
make
up
sure
to
every-
that code, yeah.
Exactly. Now, when the tenant moves in, it's on the landlord to make sure you keep that unit.
the unit up.
The tenant is keeping the unit up.
Because you as a landlord want to be able to stay in the program to be able to accept
Absolutely.
tenants.
Absolutely.
So don't blame it on them. For,
Right.
it's the, yeah.
That's
But,
right.
And then
but
you
it's
know
still
what
your
about-
discretion on who you want to allow to
As a
to-
landlord.
Go into your
as
home.
a tenant. Yeah,
Right. It's up to the landlord.
who you allow as a tenant.
Absolutely.
So
And then you know what? That kind of sounds like the landlords are doing the same thing that the long tenure tenants are doing too. You just got your house on here so that you can guarantee this rent.
Yeah.
You're not
Basically,
going back. You know
But
what
you
I'm
know
saying?
what? But ain't nothing wrong with
That's
that.
what
though.
I'm
That-
saying.
you
You're
know
not
what?
keeping your
Hustle,
property
baby.
up. You're
Right,
not.
that's right.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
But you know what? But again, let me say this: it's not all landlords, because we have some good landlords on
Yeah.
the program. Good landlords who provide good, safe, and affordable. Yeah, I mean, put into their units, but then they know that they have good tenants who's not going to destroy the property.
So
okay?
their investment is actually a good
Absolutely.
investment, and then another good investment.
Yeah, but then you got those cruddy landlords who will do the bare minimum. They know the system, just like the tenants know
Tenants
the
know-
system.
yeah.
The landlords know the system, and they know to put just enough in that unit because they know everybody needs someplace to stay.
Yeah.
So you know, I would always wonder why you have a Section 8 voucher. You can move anywhere, but if you don't know, you don't know.
That's it.
Okay.
And so if you were brought up in quote unquote Saigon, that's where you're gonna stay, in Saigon.
Yeah.
You're not gonna try to move out to the better areas. And so landlords with properties in that area, they're not gonna fix them up top notch. They're gonna fix it up enough to pass an HQS inspection to get somebody in that unit, and that's it.
Okay, so this where I'm at now, cause I am transferred over, so I'm waiting on now for my stuff to be transferred over for them to
That's called porting.
porting.
Porting, yes.
So once they do that, how long is the wait before I start attacking? Miss?
Before you start,
I start
well, here's the
attacking
thing.
them, like, okay, what's the hold up? What's taking so long? I'm ready to move in my place. I have to July the 31st to be out of Indiana.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So with any housing authority, especially with the larger housing authorities, the processing time is a little longer than the smaller housing authorities. There are some housing authorities out here that may only have a couple hundred vouchers, 300-400 vouchers, whereas you have housing authorities that have 50,000 vouchers,
wow.
20,000 vouchers,
Okay.
17,000 vouchers, and so with that, the wait could be a little bit longer. And so that's why I always advise clients, you got to kind of manage. You got to try to see where, okay, what am I going to do here versus here? You got to try to, put a plan together.
Yeah.
That if this doesn't work out,
Yeah.
then this work. Because here's it, coming from the housing authority, I can tell you, firsthand, we have more demand than we have manpower to address
Yeah.
it. Okay.
Yeah.
And so when people say, I've been calling my caseworker, oh, then she's not answering the phone,
Yeah.
then you have to understand some housing authorities and some caseworkers could have 500-600 people on their caseload.
Yeah.
And then you have to double that if you're dealing with the landlords, okay? And so with that, everybody's calling all day. Now, we have to prioritize what we're going to do. Am I
Yeah.
going to sit on the phone all day and talk
Uh-huh.
to you, or am I going to
wanna push forward
process
to-
this
exactly.
paperwork
Yeah.
for this young lady who lost her job and she
Yeah.
needs me to adjust her rent?
Yeah.
And so I understand. And then some of the phone calls that some of the people are calling for, if you just go on our website,
Yeah.
if you just look at the paperwork that we gave you,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
you can find the answers there.
Yes.
But and I'm guilty of this sometimes too. Sometimes I just want to talk to somebody and I just want somebody to tell me and that.
just
So I get that
I'll
part.
do what I gotta do after the fact, but just right quick.
Right,
Can you
right
just
quick.
tell me right
but
quick?
understand, if you got
They
500,
say we don't
600
wanna
people
read.
saying
Who wanna know
right
right
quick,
quick.
right you can't get your
Exactly.
work done.
Done.
So,
Yeah.
you know, and then there are those who are guilty of saying, you know, I've been calling you all day. I called you 5-10 times a day. Well, did you leave a message? No. Well, then how can
How
I
am I
respond
good? Yeah,
to
yeah,
you?
because
You
I'm
know?
definitely not call logging.
Yeah,
You know.
So it's a give or take, but in all, it's a good program.
Yeah.
It's an absolutely good program.
Yeah.
I would just say, people need to be patient with it.
Yeah.
Plan accordingly.
Yeah.
Because again, especially with COVID, a lot of things happened when COVID hit. A lot of people were working from home. They were taking different forms of your paperwork and things like that. So some people passed away. I had two staff members who passed away from COVID. So, and that takes a toll and plays a part when you're in the housing industry, any industry for that matter.
Period,
Because
yeah.
when you work together for so long and you lose someone,
Yeah.
that's a
Yeah,
family
that's
member.
it. It
You
is,
know,
it is,
because
yeah.
if you look at it, sometimes you're with your
Coworkers
coworkers
more than you are your
with
family. Yeah, yeah,
And so
that
when
is
you
true.
lose somebody, it just plays on you, and then you have to come to work every day past this office where so and so used to work, and they're not there anymore.
That is it.
And so, but I'm not making that an excuse. I will say though that we just don't have enough manpower to just answer the phones all day, every day. Especially when we get calls from people who just left the office from dropping off their paperwork, and they're calling their case managers to ask, "Did you get my paperwork?
Yeah.
Did you get my paperwork?"
Yeah.
That's
You
me.
know,
I've been known to.
Yeah.
And
So
I
thanks
do
for
understand.
that.
Yeah,
And I was gonna
Thanks
say,
for
and if
that.
that little enlightenment there to let you know it's you and a million and one other yous, calling to find out.
Yeah.
Again, looking at the notes. Oh, hello, Auntie. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate your support of me every time. We are at our hour, guys,
wow.
and it wasn't that
Oh,
quick.
really?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
really?
that was the hour. Yeah.
Mark,
I
I'm not
usually-
ready to leave.
Oh, really?
I'm sorry.
Oh my God.
Financially, we had to do an hour.
Oh, I
today, guys.
got you.
I'm
I
sorry.
got you.
I'm
I
usually
understand.
two, but financially,
I do
I've.
some fundraising.
That's how look. She ready to go.
Don't get her started. I'm scared of what kind of fundraising she might do. She got on one of them auntie
She
hats.
gonna
I'm
bring
scared
it
of
to
her.
pass. You know what? You know what?
Well, listen,
was
Keisha,
nice.
I
This
know
was
that
nice.
we only had an hour at
Yeah.
this, and I know it's a lot of more. It's a lot of more things I
We
wanted
can
to.
continue next week if you like.
Yeah,
we
and-
can
and-
continue next week.
And for your audience, if they need any information or anything, they can reach out to me on my TikTok. I'm sorry, is that okay for me?
Yeah, please
Okay.
do that.
On my
Please do that.
TikTok page at All Things Section 8, the number 8. And then if you want to email me, All Things Section 8, the
Yeah.
number 8 at
Yeah.
yahoo.com.
Okay, excellent. Guys, please keep that information. What I also want to do is when you visit, is when you visit All Things Section 8, be sure to follow.
Yeah,
Don't
please.
just, look on, get the information, and
Yeah.
allow the benefit that she's giving you guys to benefit her.
Yes.
So we ask that you guys do hit that follow, share.
Yes.
Like, do you subscribe? You don't know.
You
Subscribe. It's
follow.
just
It's
share,
follow. It's follow,
and
yes,
like,
yes.
I never had one of these
touch
mics.
that.
I like this mic.
Getting-
That's for my Roseman family.
Sorry,
Always
my-
talking about me with the mic. I got a bigger mic, so I know.
Okay.
I couldn't help it.
Right. No, that's it. It was
you
bound to happen.
want
It
her-
was
you
it
want
was
her
bound
on
to-
here.
and
They
my-
wanted me to
please.
come on. I was
And
tricked to
look,
be
you
here.
see
so.
my pictures, the pictures that I be posting with the mic in front, like
Yes,
you
yes.
have them now. The pictures that he was taking,
Yes.
you have those
that what
images
he
of
did?
yourself now.
Oh,
So Mark, you done
my.
messed up.
Oh,
We done met that picture
Yeah,
gonna
what
be
about telling her
everywhere.
outside? I knew she was going to. I told
Didn't you
her.
say that?
First
Yeah,
time
he
I
did.
said,
Yeah,
you going to
tell
get your ass on the mic.
Didn't
Didn't I?
we
He
though?
kept telling me,
Look,
just
hey,
sit
Ma.
down.
And then she was like a little girl playing double dutch. You know,
Right,
how you about
right,
to jump
yeah,
in like you
yeah,
don't know.
once it-
Oh no,
where
the
you
second rope.
Yeah, look, all I have to say here is I take, and I think I speak for Keisha too, we
Yeah.
take no responsibility if she's
For the-
knocking
yeah.
at your door,
Yeah, yeah.
on any off
We have
hours
nothing
saying-
to do
That's right.
with the after
That's
effect
right.
Mark,
of the meeting
but
today.
what you need to know when I knock at that door is money.
Okay.
Hey,
All right, well, bring it on.
cha-ching, where the cha-ching? Well, there we go. She said, when I knock at that door, it's about that money. Yeah,
All right,
that's
then.
it. And promoting.
Yes.
And for money. Yeah,
Thank
baby.
you guys so very much for tuning in today. I do want to air. There's a young lady. Her name is Erica Greason. I'm hoping I pronounced the last name
Oh yeah,
correct.
like you got some
Erica.
big people that missed you on YouTube. Truth, actually, Erica agrees, and she said, "Yeah, I literally was just thinking about you. This is the beginning of the show on YouTube." And then Julia said, "Welcome back, long time,
Thing
lady."
I know, guy. Hey, Julius.
So
How
everybody
are you?
on your
Okay,
ass.
I
It
know,
ain't
and
just
I'm
me.
sorry.
See?
I am back, guys. I promise you, I'm back continuously now. Just a couple of financial issues, but wait a minute. The last Sunday wasn't my fault. There was a company, I can't say which company, but they had me stranded on the west side of
Oh
Detroit.
yeah, I seen that situation
Oh, yeah.
afterwards. I'm like, what the hell's going on?
Woo! Yeah.
Yeah, I seen that.
So
I
I'm
seen
sorry. Last Sunday I would have been here, guys. I really would have. It was out of my control, and unfortunately, what caused me not to be able to do the next show before that is the financial situation that situation caused.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's what happened. Erica Greason, thank you so much. Thank you guys for missing me. I'm glad that I'm actually
No,
getting a
that's right. Miss her,
following.
y'all. Miss her.
But see, that's why
And-
y'all should go to 7mileradio.com/make them think and click that red donation button and
That
donate
is
to her
it.
show. And then y'all might see her every week. Y'all might
How
just have
about
to
that?
Uber
Just
her
take care
if
of
the
my
damn
truck.
car, if the car is
Don't do
down.
my truck. Don't do my truck.
And that hit. We're
That's
going to
right.
get that
You
hit.
know what? Oh, and
that
as you
truck.
can see, I'm getting better. Did you
get to
see
get
how
the
I
hit.
strutted up this driveway today? Woo! You better. I told Mark, once this leg get back together, I'm
Right,
flexing on you.
Come on now.
I'm about a whole outfit just the way over here in front of you.
Yes.
Debbie Berry, we sure will. We sure will. Connie Debbie Berry is asking for a follow-up show. She
Oh.
says, please do a follow-up show. This was great.
Oh,
So what
wonderful.
we'll do Sunday? Are
That's
you
fine.
available? Okay.
Yes.
And I wanted to mention, guys, that Connie will be with us until she decides what it is that she wants to do. She is looking
I think
into
both of
new
them gonna be
endeavors
back.
at
We
the
ain't gonna be able to
time. Oh,
get
look
rid
at
of her
Janine.
either.
Right, look.
So you think she gonna come without
Oh
her
my
and their sisters?
goodness! Oh my good, that
I'm
part right
already
there, that
networked.
part. That's
See?
it. That's it.
She got
We
bit with
will,
the
Debbie.
bug.
So you do have our words to next Sunday, guys. Who watching? We are going to do a follow up. We'll call it All Things Section 8. I'm sorry. What did we title this? Give me
Where's my Section 8
my
Part
Section
2?
Part 2.
Where's my
And
Section 8?
I would love for you guys also who are watching today, if you could also, especially for the ones who ask for a follow-up show, allow people who you may know that may be
Yeah.
interested in it, advise them of the show that we're doing so that they can tune in, and also so they would be aware to follow Miss Conley Johnson at All Things Section 8 on TikTok. I know I text her, say you are on. Are you on today? Oh, yeah, yeah, right. Don't do me, cuzzo. That's I'm back, cuzzo. No, Carolyn was saying, she texted me. They like, are you on today?
Yeah,
Yes, I'm
yeah.
sorry. Yes, I am. I'm back and no more issues. Again, guys, we are going to wrap this up for the evening. Connie, thank you so
No
very
problem,
much
no
for coming
problem.
on and educating our people. Janine, thank you so much for coming on and
For being
advising
tricked,
and making
yeah.
them like, wow. You know what? We're going to let her have
But
that.
that was
Yeah.
a good
That's
trick.
yours.
I like
Take
that.
care. I
I
told
like
you. And then I told her one time, I said, Connie, Kozo, just
She
come
did.
on. Come.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be. I said, I promise you, you're gonna forget that this is here.
Yes.
And it's just conversation.
Yes.
And this so
It really is.
pretty. That's so pretty. I like that.
Okay,
See, Mark, you-
guys,
you got-
thank
you
you,
start.
Mark. That is you. We should have just let her.
Yeah.
sit. She did warn
In the
us.
handicap
She
section.
did. Yes, she did. Ah, you done did this out. Oh, you know she like them. Look at this. Oh Lord.
Yeah.
Thank again,
Thank you,
guys,
Mark.
for tuning in to this Sunday's Making Them
Keisha.
Think podcast. You are very welcome. We will see you guys next Sunday at 1 p.m. for Where's My Section 8 Part 2. Again, remember to invite anyone along who has questions about Section 8 and advise them to also follow Connie Johnson on TikTok at All Things Section 8. Again, thank Mark. It is a pleasure every time, King. Thank you so much for the opportunity. All of the people who tuned in today, I see that we had a larger number of followers today. Those who didn't make comments, we appreciate you guys logging on. And we will see you guys next week on the Making Them Think podcast, where we get the hood thinking. See you
hood
next Sunday.
All right.
Warning. You are now tuned in to 7 Mile Radio. 7